In the early 2000s, long after Pulp Fiction had reshaped American cinema and cemented his status as a visionary director, Quentin Tarantino remained deeply connected to the world of independent film, not just as a creator, but as a guardian of raw, unfiltered storytelling. He often said that cinema belonged not to studios or algorithms, but to those who lived for it, even if they had nothing else. One such person was Marcus Reed, a 24-year-old film student from South Central Los Angeles who had been sleeping in the back room of a video rental store near Hollywood Boulevard. The store, one of the last surviving relics of the pre-streaming era, was a sanctuary for cinephiles, and Marcus had become its unofficial caretaker in exchange for shelter. He had enrolled in a community college film program with dreams of becoming a writer-director inspired by Tarantino's fearless dialogue and non-linear storytelling. But when his mother died unexpectedly and financial aid fell through, he dropped out and drifted into homelessness. Still, he never stopped watching films, analyzing scripts, or scribbling scenes in a battered notebook. What Marcus didn't know was that Tarantino still visited video stores like this one, not for nostalgia, but because he believed in the ritual of holding a VHS tape, reading the back cover, discovering something forgotten. One rainy evening in 2003, he walked into the shop, browsing the crime section, flipping through old Criterion titles. The clerk recognized him immediately, but Tarantino waved off attention. As he browsed, he noticed a young man asleep behind the counter, curled up under a jacket, a notebook open beside him. On the page, a screenplay titled Echo Park Blues, written in tight, passionate handwriting filled with sharp dialogue and references to Reservoir Dogs and Jackie Brown. Curious, Tarantino flipped through a few pages. What he found wasn't imitation. It was homage with original voice. A story about loyalty, betrayal, and music in 1970s law, told with rhythm and soul. Instead of leaving, he asked the clerk about the writer. When he learned Marcus' story, no family, no income, no way back into school, Tarantino didn't offer a quick fix. He waited until Marcus woke, introduced himself quietly, and offered not fame, but opportunity. Over the next few weeks, Tarantino invited Marcus to attend private screenings at his home theater, where he dissected classic films with small groups of aspiring filmmakers. He gave Marcus access to his personal script library, introduced him to editors and producers, and helped him refine Echo Park Blues into a short film treatment. But the most transformative act came when Tarantino arranged for Marcus to audit classes at the Offie Conservatory under a mentorship program funded through an anonymous donation. He also covered living expenses, securing a shared apartment with other film students and providing a modest stipend so Marcus could focus on writing instead of survival. More than resources, Tarantino gave him validation. He treated Marcus not as a charity case, but as a peer, someone whose voice deserved to be heard. Over time, Marcus completed his education, worked as a script reader, and eventually co-wrote an indie crime drama that premiered at Sundance. Years later, during a Q&A, he credited Tarantino not for making him successful, but for reminding him that passion alone could be enough to begin. For Tarantino, helping Marcus wasn't about building a product, it was about preserving the spirit of independent cinema. He had started in a video store too, talking endlessly about Taxi Driver and The Great Escape. He knew how easily talent could be lost in poverty, addiction, or despair. And so, quietly, over the years, he supported dozens of struggling artists, not through foundations or press releases, but through personal connections, invitations, and quiet investments in unseen potential. This side of Tarantino rarely made headlines. No cameras followed these moments. But for people like Marcus, they were everything. Because sometimes all it takes is one person to say, "I believe in your story," for a life to change direction. And Quentin Tarantino, the man who redefined modern storytelling, had done exactly that, not on screen, but behind the scenes.